Hey everyone, I'm Ashes,
And I'm Will.
and
And
this
this
is
is
Ashes
Ashes
and
and
Will
Will
Do
Do
Disney.
Disney. Each week, one of us will tell the other the history, facts, and stories behind the rides and attractions of Disney that have made special memories for generations.
Keep in mind that Ashes and Will Do Disney is not affiliated with or employed by the Walt Disney Company, and our views and opinions do not reflect theirs.
Now it's time to sit back, relax, and put on your ears because it's time for Ashes and Will Do Disney. Hello, everybody. I am back again this week for another mini episode. I hope you're all doing well. It's been barbecue weather here, so I've been taking advantage of that. Hope y'all are doing the same or staying cool if the heat is too much for you. But, anyways, wanted to touch base real quick. Last night I did watch the first episode of Ms. Marvel with my oldest kiddo. And when I was talking to a buddy about how I was getting ready to watch it, he said he had heard that there were comparisons to Scott Pilgrim, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. And I would definitely agree. Definitely does give off that vibe. And then my oldest pointed something out that I had been thinking of too, that it also has Spider-Man vibes because you've got the awkward teenage kid trying to fit in who then discovers a source of power and is on her journey to become a superhero. So I would definitely say it has Scott Pilgrim meets Spider-Man vibes. And it's a fun little show, especially if you've got kiddos to watch with. I thought it was great. Very interested to see where it goes. And we also got Ashes officially watching Marvel content with us. She voluntarily wanted to watch WandaVision with our oldest kiddo and myself, which she hasn't watched a lot of the movies. Don't hold it against her, it's not completely her thing, but I told her I was willing to pause and explain things since she is voluntarily getting into Marvel and wants to watch it with us. So we're about 2 episodes into that. It's my third go around watching that show, which first time I watched it, I felt like I had to have a lot of patience to get to the storyline of it. Second time around, knowing what it was, thought it was great. It's actually probably one of my favorite Marvel shows and probably my favorite Marvel story that Disney has done as far as their limited series. But anyways, let's get into this week's topic. When I was in college, before I even met Ashes, a couple of my friends had called me one night and asked me if I wanted to go see a later showing of Monsters, Inc. I wasn't super huge into Disney at this point. As discussed in the past, I always liked Disney just fine, but didn't really dive in until Ash took me on our honeymoon. But going to a movie with a couple of friends sounded like fun, and I didn't really care what we saw. What was even better is that, because it was at like 10 o'clock on a Friday night, we were the only ones in the movie theater. Because really, how many people are taking their kids out on a Friday night at 10 p.m. to watch Monsters, Inc.? And there was something about being the only ones there that added to the experience of the movie because I felt like I could actually just watch it like I was sitting in my living room. And Monsters, Inc. would continue to pop up in my life. In 2006, on our honeymoon, Ashes and I were wearing our wedding ears at DCA, and we got in line for Mike and Sully to the Rescue, which is basically a dark ride through the movie. The cast member running the ride noticed that we were just married and bumped us up to the front of the line. At the end of that particular ride is a Roz animatronic, and she interacts with the guests. She congratulated us on getting married, and we had a good laugh. Then in 2018, when we took the kids for their first trip, Roz asked if I wanted to trade glasses with her. For anybody that knows me or has seen pictures of me on the Facebook page, I have typically worn black horn rim glasses. The other Monsters, Inc. attraction in the US is the Laugh Floor, which is the same concept as Turtle Talk with Crush. But that made me wonder about other Monsters, Inc. attractions. In the Pixar issue of WDW magazine, I found a piece on Monsters, Inc. Ride and Go Seek, the Tokyo Disney attraction. While Mike and Sully to the Rescue in DCA is purely a dark ride, Ride and Go Seek puts a spin on flashlight tag as you ride through Monstropolis and the Monsters, Inc. factory. Ride and Go Seek opened on April 15th, 2009 and replaced the Meet the World attraction in Tomorrowland. You enter a reception area where Mike Wazowski explains the rules of flashlight tag. They're pretty straightforward. You get a flashlight, and you shine on any M logo you see throughout the ride. If you hit the M correctly, then something fun happens with the monster. It's similar in fashion to the Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters ride and Toy Story Midway Mania. The difference is that Astro Blasters and Midway Mania are point collecting games, and Ride and Go Seek is not. The basic premise of the ride is that Boo causes some havoc and you get into a security vehicle to start your adventure. Like anything worth its salt in the Pixar world, there are some Easter eggs throughout the ride. In Boo's room, there is a flashlight that looks like Nemo and some letter blocks that spell out WDI, short for Walt Disney Imagineering. There is a clock in the locker room of the factory that is always set to 10:28, which is the date of the premiere of the movie, October 28th, 2001. Of course, throughout the ride, there are also a few hidden Mickeys as well. Similar to the end of Mike and Sully to the Rescue, there is a Roz animatronic that interacts with you, but she's putting you on blast in Japanese instead of English. No Disney ride would be complete without merchandise and themed snacks. Like most rides, when you get off, you exit into the gift shop where they have exclusive Monsters, Inc. merch that even includes toiletries. In the Sweetheart Cafe, guests can get Mike Wazowski melon bread. The bread is so famous in the park that you can even get a souvenir carrying case for it. And of course, what kind of attraction would it be if it didn't have its own Monsters, Inc. popcorn bucket? This is a popular attraction, and you have to plan it right to experience it. According to WDW Magazine, the best way to do this is to get a standby pass, which you can do through the Tokyo Disney Resort app. My understanding, this is similar to getting in the virtual queue like you would for when Rise of the Resistance opened. It's not a fast pass, but it gets you in a group that is allowed to get in line. Other rides at that park that require this pass are Enchanted Tale of Beauty and the Beast, The Happy Ride with Baymax, Pooh's Honey Hunt, Splash Mountain, and Big Thunder Mountain. While Ride and Go Seek is popular, its standby passes don't seem to run out as fast as the other attractions. Some days a standby pass is not even required for Ride and Go Seek, and you can just walk into the standby line. So that's what I've got for Ride and Go Seek. Sounds like a fun little ride. One that's kind of video game based, like the two that I mentioned, web slingers, things like that, but a little less pressure. You're not worried about getting points. It's just a matter of making the monster do something funny. I actually really want to check out a lot of these different types of attractions at the parks that are out of country, like especially some of the Pirates of the Caribbean rides that are overseas. I've done the POV on YouTube and they're absolutely phenomenal. But thank you again for listening and your support, and we'll see you real soon. That's it for this week's episode of Ashes and Will Do Disney.
Don't forget, we need your mouse tales. If you have a funny, weird, exciting, or just a favorite Disney memory, send it to ashesandwilldodisney@gmail.com so we can read them on the show.
And don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Ashes and Will Do Disney. This is a public group to follow. We're also on YouTube at Ashes and Will Do Disney.
Please subscribe, rate, and review wherever you listen to your podcasts. Thank you so much for listening, and have a magical day!